PrimaLuna preamps are really something special, and there's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to make this video too long, so make sure that you go to the other videos and look for point-to-point wiring and super quiet relay-based input selection. A lot of people know me as being frank, and I don't want to say anything that makes anybody mad, but I gotta do it. I call bullshit on some of the preamplifiers that are being made today. How do you charge $4,000 or $5,000 for a preamplifier that has a little printed circuit board in it and a little power supply, and it weighs 16 to 18 pounds? It makes me think about when I go to a restaurant and I'm buying a dinner for $10, but the soda costs $2.50. Everybody knows that that's the profit center, and we all pay it, but we're vaguely annoyed by it. That's not the way that it is with a PrimaLuna. The Prologue Premium preamplifier at $21.99 weighs 37.5 pounds. The Dialogue Premium preamplifier at $31.99 weighs 53 pounds. There's nothing new in preamplifier designs. Nothing. If it's a single tube, it's a hybrid. If it's got two tubes in it, it's probably using a lot of feedback. More expensive preamps are going to have more tubes in them. That's the way that it is. PrimaLuna preamps are going to use either 4 or 6 tubes in their output stage, but there's a lot more to the story. So let's take a look. Since the beginning, PrimaLuna preamps have been tube rectified. That's a feature that you usually don't find unless you spend $9,000, $10,000 or more. And there's a reason for it. It's very expensive to build. And our preamps are not only tube rectified, they are dual mono tube rectified. Why do we do it? Because tube rectification sounds better. Now the preamp is pure tube. It's going to have a sense of grace and glory that is incomparable. PrimaLuna uses the Alps Blue Velvet potentiometer to control volume. Why is that important? If you don't have proper tracking as you go up and down in volume, the stereo image can collapse. The Blue Velvet is an audiophile grade product, and it lasts and it stays quiet. I see a trend among manufacturers to go to a digital chip to control volume. It's very tempting to use a $2.50 solution. But we're not going to do that. And the other thing is, chips sometimes fail, and we have no problems with the Alps pots. They're phenomenal, and they sound good. PrimaLuna preamps are designed with something that we call smart gain. I think some of you know that I own a company that retubes a lot of products. In fact, we've retubed over 10,000 tube components over all these years. And I know where the problems are. And one of the biggest problems is preamps that have too much gain. So what does that mean? When you have a CD player going into a preamp and then into an amplifier, you're usually not adding volume with your preamp. You're actually turning the volume down. There's no real need for additional gain. They do sound better with the preamp because you get the additional drive capability and you get all the character that a preamp can provide. But they don't need gain. Some manufacturers are going to put 20, 25, 30 dB of gain, and then customers complain and they have problems with tubes within months. There is absolutely no reason for that. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But that's their problem. But I'm not going to make it your problem. PrimaLuna preamps are going to have from 10 to 12 dB of gain. People never have problems with them going microphonic or noisy. The other thing is, we wire the preamp where the tubes are in parallel internally and then in parallel to each other. What does that mean? If one of the tubes goes a little bit wacky on you, you're going to be less likely to hear it. Everything that we do is designed to make sure that it will always sound its best, that you don't have to mess with tubes, you don't have problems. All of these things on their face make sense, and all manufacturers should do it, but they don't. People wonder why PrimaLuna preamps are so heavy, and there's a couple reasons. First reason is our transformers. They are huge, and they're toroidal, and they're phenomenal. The other reason is PrimaLuna preamps are a dual mono design. What does that mean? It is literally two preamplifiers in one box. There are no shared circuits, no shared power supplies. We get much better channel separation and a stereo image that will go deeper than any of our competitors. And this brings up a point that I think you've heard me mention before, and that is take another product, put it into Google. Go to Google Images and look at the inside to see how that preamplifier is made. Then go to our website and look at detailed pictures to see how we do it. Point-to-point wiring, dual mono design, tube rectification. All of these things add up to a great product.